Okay. So as we are continuing now, I'm gonna move on into study tips and how I am studying and why I find it to be effective for me. So we are all different, we all consume knowledge differently, but what works for me is that I woke up early in the morning, and because that for me, it's where nothing has begun. The place is quiet, no distractions, and it becomes easier for me to concentrate, and it gives me the groove for the entire day. As like my mind will be active, my mind will be questioning the stuff that I've learned throughout the day. Should I be going to class during the day or going to work? So so the study tips that I have for you is that you must give yourself enough time to study. Do not wait for last minute and just say, no, it's just only 20 slides and I can do that on Friday because I'm writing on Monday. Thing is, we are not the same. And if you do that, you'll find that sometimes there are complex concepts in that whatever that you're reading in that subject or in that topic rather, and you don't have time to consult, you do not have time to do enough practice questions, and you'll end up failing in that topic because now you didn't put in much effort. So yeah, you must give yourself enough time to study, and ensure that you keep up with the lecture, you ensure that you keep up with your teacher if you're in high school, because if you don't, you're gonna do the last minute thing and you won't be able to comprehend much in the last minutes. So organize your study place. So when I was in high school, well, I didn't have a study table, but I was fortunate enough to have my own bedroom. So what would happen is that I would just take a chair and then not sit on my bed. I wouldn't study sitting on my bed because that's your worst enemy when you're studying. You're gonna fall asleep. So I would sit on a chair and then use my bed as a table, and then I'd start studying, and I would ensure that my place is cleaned up so that it becomes easy for me to consume the knowledge. And also practice prior year exams on time. Do not wait and say, I'm gonna do my exams 2 days before the prior exam, because you'll be surprised how much you don't know when you start doing those exams on that day. So rather, maybe 2 weeks before, also when you are studying a topic and it's part of the scope, it's scoped in the exam, or if you don't know the scope, you need to study the entire syllabus that you've covered. So what I'd recommend is that while you are studying, and then you know that in question 3 of 2012, there's this topic is covered in question 3, you go and do it right then. You understand? Because if you wait for last minute, you'll find that there's something that you don't understand and you don't have time to go back and consult. You understand? So it's gonna be a bit complicated because it will cause you to panic. Whatever that you might not be able to answer now because you're panicking that there's something you don't know and you only became aware of it in last minutes. And then you get time to even question your friends, how did you do this question? How do I go about it? You understand? So yeah, that's why I recommend doing prior papers on time, prior year question papers on time, because it saves you and it builds up your confidence to say, oh, I'm confident in this topic and I'll be able to answer it in an exam, because last minute is the time to revise, not to study. You are done studying, you've done doing your papers. Now it's your time to move on and do those to move on and revise. Revising and studying are two different things. Revising is that it says I already know the work, it's just me to be comfortable because it's last minute and be like, okay, I'm sure of this, I'm sure that I know this. And then you must also take regular breaks. So what I would do is that when I was still in university, I would study, if maybe it's that period, because we would get a study break for a week, and then that the following week your exams are starting. So in that week I would ensure that at 2 a.m. in the morning, I know that's so Because I'm a morning person, I would ensure that at 2 a.m. in the morning I'm studying. I'm starting to study. So if I start at 2, I would count 3, 4, 5. And then at 5, I take my break. At 6, I go to gym. 7, I'm back. I bath. 8, 9, 10, 11. Like 3 hours, 3 hours, and then I take 1 hour breaks. But when I'm tired, I would take 2 hours. But that would be what I do. And then another thing is that you must ensure that your sleeping patterns are consistent. If you do that, you ensure, because what I do is that I know that at 10, 10, 11, 12, 1, okay, 11, 12, 1, 2, no, yeah, I used to sleep for 4 hours, really. But yeah, if you can, just ensure that you sleep for 6 hours plus, and then ensure that each and every time when that time arrives, when it's your time to sleep, you do not have to change it and say, no, today I'm sleeping at 8 because I need to. You understand what I'm saying? Like, make sure that you sleep, because your body will eventually know that at this time I rest, and it will rest. But if you change your sleeping patterns, just find that I slept for 5 hours but I'm still tired. Why is that? It's because that at that moment your mind is still active, and all those things that can affect you. And then you must ensure that you eat healthy. Drink a lot of water, as I always recommend. Ensure that you have fruits, your snacks, you snack with proper food. Do not eat too much junk. That's not the time to eat too much junk. And then ensure that you also exercise, right? And then the reason why I also recommend that you study during the day. That is because if the night is short, guys, the night is short. But if I start studying at 4 a.m., I know, for even when I go to a lecture, maybe at 8, I already began my day with my 2 hour of studying. So coming back, I get to continue and all that, and I cover a lot of stuff. But if you decide to study at night, you'll see it's, if you decide to say, I'm going to study from, say, 11 and then until 3. That's a limited amount of time. And then you would wake up, if you sleep at 3, you will wake up maybe around 8, 9, and then if you wake up around 8 and 9, you've already consumed the following 6 hours of you continuing to study. So I hope I make sense. Like, the day is longer than the night, so I recommend you studying during the day, because it has proven to work for me. It might work for you as well. So also, how do I study? Most people will say that I can't study, especially if you are in high school. I can't study, I don't know how to study. Well, with me, how I started studying, and it still works for me even today, is that I would rewrite. See, I feel like the brain consumes or gets to comprehend the concept or whatever that you are reading faster when you are writing, because you are, I think they said, once saw something that's saying that you get to consume the knowledge 3 times more when you write it. So I would write it in my own words, but not losing the meaning or the context of what I was reading. And then after rewriting, because in high school, Vela, is about that, you rewrite maybe 3 times, and then you talk to yourself, you question yourself, and then you answer the papers, and then you see where you are in high school. But in varsity, then you rewrite, and then after, not rewriting per se, but understanding the concept. You understand, you study, you understand the concept, you write the concept without looking at it, you correct where you are wrong, you ensure that you didn't lose the meaning of what is being said, and then you apply it in your tutorials. You do your tasks on time, then moving from your tasks, because the task is just an indicator of you saying, I know this, I managed to get an 8 out of 10, I managed to get a 7, though it's a bit heated that side. So yeah, and then that's when you can move on to your papers, because the tasks are also preparing you for exams, because they are in the same standard. It's just past papers also as well most of the time. I don't know with other varsities, but yeah. So yeah, understand the concepts before attempting questions, and then consult. Ensure that your tutor, your lecturer, they are your friends. But I was never like that, because like I have a problem with with consulting. What the one thing I would do is to ask my friends, or how is this done? That's me. And going into a lecture, unless maybe via email, but going there and saying, hey bruh, but I recommend that you do that, because most people are saying it works and it saves you a lot of time, unlike you hiding in a corner and saying that I don't understand this, I'm a failure, what, all those negative sayings you feed yourself. So it saves you from that. Also, you must. I'm not a fan of a study timetable, because sometimes you are more productive in studying, for example, auditing, and then you know that after auditing it's easy to move into text and whatnot, because you're confident in that one, because you're struggling with it. But I'm not a fan, because normally I would have that, but I wouldn't follow it. Sorry. But at the end, I would ensure that I meet the end objective. So, yeah, if you can, or it works for you, I also recommend that. And you sticking up to it and ensuring that you get all the work that needs to be done on time. And then plan your day a day before, because I think when you plan your day, you actually wake up with an objective. You wake up knowing, for at the end of the day, this is what I need to achieve, and having to take those to-do list and saying done, it gives so much confidence, and it motivates you to say that you're doing right, you're doing well, you are on track. And yeah, the last thing that I want to talk about is social media. With me, guys, when I'm writing my exams, I don't care. I don't care that I'm a content creator, I don't care that I love Facebook, I don't care. I actually deactivate all my account, because for me, I wanna pass, and I'm not saying that when you don't, you won't pass, but with me, I know myself, because I'm easily distracted, and I hate it when people wanna impose their anxieties on me in last minute, to say that, oh Larata, I didn't do this, did you do that, how is this done, rather do everything on time. That is my time, actually. So I don't want to find myself being confused because you are confused. So I recommend that also, when you are studying, you make sure that you are offline, and yeah, you do all your best, you push and push and push, so that we can all be graduates. And yeah, so I guess this is it. If you have any questions, you're more than welcome. You can comment, you can share, and you can subscribe, please. I love you guys so much.